This is the biggest change in PlayStation's history since the release of the PlayStation back in the 90s. Sony has officially announced that starting January 2028, all new games will be digital only. In this video, we'll discuss the possible reasons why Sony may have done this. We'll discuss how it's going to affect GameStop and other retailers, how it may affect the PlayStation 6 and what's going to happen then, and also how it'll affect the consumer, especially people that collect games physically. How is that going to be affected when this happens in 2028? Welcome back to Pop Games, and thank you for stopping by. Please go ahead and like the video and subscribe. Sony may have done this because digital sales are going up every single year. There's a lot more digital sales, and people are not going out there to buy physical games that much. Not only that, Sony may be also saving a lot of money when it comes to manufacturing costs, when it comes to, printing the games, selling them, shipping them to the retailers, and then the retailers getting a cut from that. So they may want to go digital so they don't have to do all that when it comes to physical discs, which is understandable in the business side of things, but it will eventually affect the consumers, you and I. One of the things I want to talk about is the rise in digital sales of video games across the board. Xbox, Nintendo, Steam, and now PlayStation. One of the biggest things that I've seen recently is GTA 6. There's rumors out there that GTA 6 has already made $3 billion in pre-orders. So why is that important? Well, GTA 6 is only available right now for pre-order digitally. So all those sales, all those $3 billion have been sales of a digital product, not a physical game. So the point I'm trying to make here is that maybe PlayStation saw that, saw the consumers, saw how the market is trending, and saw everyone seeing how, everybody is hyped about GTA 6. All those digital sales happened without a physical copy, and Sony's maybe like, okay, well, that's, trending towards a digital future. It's okay for us to announce now that there will be no more physical games coming to PlayStation in 2028. So that's my thought. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the GTA 6 maybe tying in with Sony's decision here. Now, we know that Sony has been pushing GTA 6 a lot. You see it in the marketing, you see the color scheme and all that in the PlayStation Store, and they changed their icon. So it's crazy how PlayStation and GTA are kind of like, always kind of connected, but it's also crazy to see how they have seen that number, dollar signs, $3 billion. Okay, they did it. Maybe we can also just bring every other game digitally, and then, we'll save a lot of money, and the people want it anyways. So a lot of people that pre-order GTA 6, you pre-order the game, that's okay, but at the end of the day, it may affect physical copies of other games. Now, how will this affect the ownership of a video game? I don't know what any of the details will be. Maybe they'll announce something different in the future. I'm sure they're going to have more news about this coming out. But how are we going to own this game that's being sold to us by PlayStation? For example, in the past week, we also saw some news about PlayStation, or not PlayStation, but Sony removing some movies from online databases. So those movies just disappeared, and people that paid for the movies, digital copies of them, they're gone. They don't own them anymore. So what happens in the future? If you buy a video game and then Sony decides to just at one day just say, hey, your game is gone, the server goes down, we're just going to pull a license or something, what's going to happen to your money? You paid for something that is digital, but don't really own it. So that's the main thing that a lot of people are worried about, having ownership of the actual game, because a physical copy, you can own it. You can have it in a disc, always be able to share it, sell it, do whatever you want with it, but it's your disc, it's not going to disappear. At least you have something physical that, is tangible, you can touch and have it, in the physical realm here in the real world, and it won't go away. Another thing I want to talk about is the PlayStation 6. Now, when that eventually does release, how is this going to affect the PS6? So, for example, if you have a PS4 game and a PS5 game, physical copies of those games, can you get those games and put them in a PS6 if it's backwards compatible? Are they going to even do that? Is it going to be a digital only PS6 console that won't take a disc? So that's another question out there. Like, are you going to be able to play your old games? What if your PS4 breaks or your PS5 breaks and you get a PS6? Are all those other games that you have in your library, are they gone forever? You know, that's another thing that we have to question. So we don't know if you can get all your PS6 games or whatever games are coming out in the future in 2028, if those games are going to be shareable, if you can resell them, if you can trade them in. You know, how is that going to work? How is that going to affect GameStop? Are they going to go out of business? Is Xbox going to follow suit? Is Nintendo going to follow suit? Or are all the consoles going to be digital only? So how is that going to affect physical game stores? And I already hinted at this, but the consumer is the main person that's going to be impacted by this. So are we going to be able to share our games, resell them, trade them in, just hold them in a physical collection, make our own cool rooms or whatever, have a display of our most precious, loved games? Is that going to change in the future, or is it just going to be like a digital library of all of our games that may disappear at any moment's notice if they pull the licenses? Or are they going to have some kind of agreement that they'll never pull those servers? So we'll never know, but the main person impacted is you and me. If you are a physical games collector, you are going to be impacted in 2028 by this PlayStation news. I don't like it. It's inevitable, but it sucks. So again, thank you for stopping by, but I want to leave you with a question, and please answer in the comments. So if PlayStation goes digital, all digital today, will you be okay with it? I hope to hear from you, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.